To lead in a world that never stops evolving, you need insights from those who are driving change. Welcome to Breakthrough Innovations, where we bring together the top leaders and innovators who are reshaping their industries. I'm JL Heather, the Principal Executive Coach at Center, and in each episode, I sit down with game-changing executives who share the strategies, insights, and challenges that fuel their success. In the next 20 minutes, you'll gain practical takeaways to drive your own breakthroughs. So if you're ready to stay ahead, join us here on Breakthrough Innovations. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Breakthrough Innovation. With us today is Sofia Wakabayashi. Sofia is the founder and CEO of Waka Growth, a social media marketing agency specializing in LinkedIn and personal branding. Sofia is also the author of Quantum Profit Mastery, designed to help small businesses increase their revenue and profit so owners can live a life of more time freedom. Sofia, we've known each other for a bit. We've done a few things together. Really excited to have this conversation and see where it goes. So thrilled to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me. It's so great to be here.
Yeah, no problem. The place we always like to start is with the background. Where do you come from and how did you get to where you are today?
Yes. Well, I have a pretty unique background. So in college, I started modeling to pay my way through school. And then after that, I started working in tech doing business development. So really diving into marketing and sales. And then I had the opportunity to go on Asia's Next Top Model Cycle 1. So I quit my job, moved to Singapore, and that was in 2012. So at the rise of Instagram. So that's when modeling also changed. So social media started to become a big part of your job. And I didn't realize at the time that I was getting a masterclass in personal branding, and I had no idea how that was going to relate to me starting a business later. But when I came back into business and tech, my personal brand and my social media followed me through. So I was becoming the top salesperson always by utilizing the authority I already had. And after that, I started business consulting, and social media and social selling just continued being on the rise, as well as personal branding. And I started having tech CEOs asking me to help them build their platforms, and all of that experience really came together. So also my understanding in tech. So the fact that each social media platform is its own machine and its own AI. So really understanding how to trigger the algorithms in the best way and utilize it to its maximum capacity. And then combining that with my knowledge of BD, sales, how do you properly make that into an inbound machine, follow up and close leads, and paired with my personal branding knowledge from modeling as well. So how do I have fans and a following and build a really loyal community that's going to follow me over my lifetime? And it's been interesting to see how much personal branding is now making one of the most important aspects actually in a business, because most companies, I think 82% of people say that they trust a company more when its senior executives are on social media. And 77% say that they're going to buy over a competitor's company if their CEO is on social media. So it's just becoming such a big part of business and entrepreneurship to build your personal brand. And so, yeah, in a very beautiful way, my background in modeling and sales and tech all came together to start my company, Waka Growth.
Yeah, who was it? Maybe Steve Jobs, who said, your life only makes sense when you look backwards. Something along those lines. You can only connect the dots in retrospect. I'm totally butchering that quote, but it's somewhere in that range. And no, I get it. It's interesting. And I love the story because I think also, sometimes innovation isn't about the new thing. It's about combining all the old things in a new way, which I think that kind of comes through in your story as well.
Yeah.
Now,
Absolutely.
I know you wrote the book Quantum Profit Mastery. I haven't had a chance to read it. I don't think it's out yet, is it?
So an ebook version is out. So
Okay.
that can be found at profit.wakagrowth.com.
Awesome.
Anyone can
So with
download it.
that, as I understand it, that's to help small businesses grow their revenue and profit. It kind of falls into that 10X kind of mindset and category. I'm curious, could you share one of the most impactful no-cost strategies that you have in your book?
Yeah, well, one of the first no-cost strategies is really talking about conversion formulas. So it's really simple. A lot of people think that, websites are the main way to get your leads or convert, but landing pages or squeeze pages is one of the most effective ways that people aren't utilizing them the right way. So the conversion formula is really to have a headline that captivates, so something that gets into the emotional state with stating the problem of the buyer, and then fascinate. So how do you solve that problem for them? And then you educate them. So how are you or your service unique compared to other competitors? And then how do you close them by giving a compelling offer that they can't resist? So it's really simple. It's just 4 steps. And you can make a very simple landing page with just these 4 items. And we've actually seen an increase in lead conversions from 1,000 to almost 4,000-5,000%. And this strategy alone, we've also seen with our clients actually generate 6 to 7 figures in profit just from applying the right strategy, having the right wording, getting into the emotional state of the buyer. So that's where a lot of people miss out. How are you talking to the prospect or the buyer while they're in an emotional state? Because that's when people are buying. They have a problem that they can't get rid of, and they're looking for a solution to solve that problem. So you need to be speaking to them on that level, because most people are going to buy when they feel ready and when they feel that emotion that they need to solve that problem now.
Love that. When you talk about the concept of landing pages and squeeze pages, how does that, like, do you have any good like examples of how that comes to life or case studies?
I do. We actually worked with a cosmetic surgeon who he was specializing in mommy makeovers, but he wasn't appealing to the demographic in that way. So he didn't have a position of market dominance, or he wasn't speaking to his niche. So he was paying $6,000 in Facebook ads per month. And his website just said provoke or get the body that will provoke true envy. But that didn't speak to any moms, right? That's not why moms are going to get a mommy makeover. And so he was getting a 0% conversion rate by putting $6,000 in. So he was getting about 35 leads per month. So instead, we created him a squeeze page, a landing page that said, do you want the body you had before kids? Because that's usually what moms are looking for. They just want to go back to their original body. And then we gave a free offer, an informational guide that women can download and get all the info about that surgery and about the surgeon, build the trust before they even go to get a consult. And that actually ended up generating over 400 leads with the same $6,000 of ads. And the conversion rate became 32 new patients. So going from 0 conversions to 32 new patients with $125,000 a month in revenue, which is over 1.5 million a year. And that was just from applying a landing page in the right way and using that conversion formula and knowing how to speak to his position of market dominance.
Yeah, no, I love that. If you truly understand your customer's need and you speak their language, the rest of it kind of just flows naturally. So that works out really well. I love the example. So you're doing this and it's creating this inbound kind of marketing machine, which I obviously is in your case study, can be a really transformative experience. What are some of the first steps a business can take to create a LinkedIn-based inbound strategy?
Yeah, well, via LinkedIn is a little bit different than via a landing page. But of course, for LinkedIn, if you have the proper landing page, now you're directing people to that. And so what you want to be doing is utilizing the AI or the machine. So what a lot of people don't realize is that LinkedIn is always watching you. So it's an AI and it's saying, hey, like, what is this creator doing? Are they utilizing us, LinkedIn, in the most effective way? Are they giving us the most value? And that's all the machine really cares about. So I like to say the law of reciprocity that I actually learned from our LinkedIn advisor, Corey Warfield, who's amazing at 600,000 followers on LinkedIn. You guys can check him out. But he always talks about that, where you have to give back to the platform in order to get. And so that means going and participating on other creators' posts, leaving valuable comments, valuable advice, because that's where people are going to see you. So you have to be always in all areas of that platform for people to see you, come engage with you. And then you also need to be engaging constantly with your comments. And a lot of people forget that you also have to be responding to your messages. So again, LinkedIn as an AI looking at all of its features. So if it's seeing that you're getting a lot of messages come in, a lot of people are leaving comments for you, but you're not engaging at all and you're not responding, then they're going to compare you to a different creator who is and say, you know what, this other person isn't as valuable to me as an AI or a machine. It's not using me as much. So I'm going to deprioritize this person's content and not show it to as many people. So you want to be using all the features of the machine and giving to it as much as possible for it to start favoring you. There's a lot of other strategies, like you need to be optimizing your profile in the right way, of course, to be getting people over. But what people are doing wrong the most is that there's three reasons people come on LinkedIn: to either sell something, to get a job, or to hire someone. So no one's coming there to buy anything. But if you look at almost every single page, everyone is trying to sell something. And so what a personal brand is actually people are buying into you and who you are and what your story is. They're not coming there to actually buy what you offer as a service. And so that's where a lot of people make it wrong. So you can actually go to my LinkedIn and you can see that as a flow. You're going to go to my About Me and you're going to read a story about me, one that people can relate to. And then you're going to go to my featured section and I'm not selling anything, but there I'm going to have authority or more about my story. I have my free offer, a newsletter, so I can build that trust. You want to learn more about me. And so people, again, are buying into who you are as a person. So you have to see a personal brand as a lifetime ROI. It's not about, hey, this is my business brand and I want to sell you something right now and make money. You have to invest in it and you have to invest in your community and you have to see them as a community and fans that you're building over time. So for
Right.
example, someone could be a student and they're messaging you for advice, but if you have that mindset of, oh, I can't sell them anything, then, you don't see the value of who they could become over time to you. They might become your fan that comes to your speaking engagement. They're going to show up to your webinar and maybe in 5 years they become successful and they want to become your student or your client. So again, you have to constantly be giving back and you need to be genuine as well. But that's what I love about what we provide. So we're a fully doing for you service because obviously this is a full-time job to keep up with all of your social platforms and to be responding to hundreds of comments and hundreds of messages. And I definitely know. So that's what we help entrepreneurs do, is take that off their plate and really just go in there and do it all for them and set it up as an inbound machine so they can focus on what they do best.
Yeah, no, it is definitely overwhelming. And I'm curious, I'm going to kind of jump ahead a little bit, knowing how social media can be overwhelming and honestly, sometimes it can be a little bit negative. How do you help clients manage the mental health challenges of being online and being the face of their organization?
Yeah, there's a lot that comes with it that people don't realize. And we see all sorts of different messages come through. But that's what's so great about, again, a done for you service, because you then don't have to be in there. You don't have to see the negative comments. You don't have to see the weird messages. And you can have that taken care of, which is already a huge barrier. And that's what I was looking for when I started my company. And actually, there was no company that did everything done for you. There were some that maybe posted content, maybe did some inbox, but they didn't do everything, including community growth, understanding the strategies, understanding the tech behind it. So I had to create it myself because it was really impacting my mental health. I couldn't keep up with the hundreds of messages. I was seeing distressing things all the time. It got to a point where it also had physically impacted my life. So people
Yeah.
who were from the digital world were coming into my physical world in kind of a scary way. And so I learned a lot from my experience as a top model out in Asia and how to deal with all of that. So now I'm able to, we do weekly growth consults with our clients. So I'm able to guide them through that if they do see something upsetting or they feel cringe, but I always am there to support them and be like, you know what? That's what it feels like. Because when you rise, the higher you go, a lot of times the higher it gets. And there are going to be more and more people trying to bring you down. But when you have that support or someone who's gone through it, I guess in that aspect, maybe it's a little bit like me coaching or giving them that
Yeah.
just moral support too. And knowing that someone's gone through it and that's going to be okay. And that's really rewarding for me, actually. And so, an aspect I didn't realize was going to be a part of my agency, but has become a big part of it, is helping them as their profiles rise and they step into more of a public figure.
No, I think that's great. Mental health is such a big part of, well, everything, but I think entrepreneurs especially have to be careful. Like the demands, the stress, the anxiety, everything, it just makes it so much easier to get into that state of overwhelm. So having that support, I could see that being incredibly valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, I think, really important to protect your mental health because you have so much you need to focus on. Being an entrepreneur, like you said, it's super hard already. You're leading teams, you're trying to figure everything out, hold everything together for everyone. So the last
Yeah.
thing you need is some random person on the internet to say something weird about you. And then all of a sudden it's in your head and, bothering you all day. It's good to have that taken care of and have experts in your corner to kind of guide you.
Yeah, I was interviewing someone the other day who was talking about one of the best lessons they learned was you have to let experts be experts. right? I think,
Mm.
as an entrepreneur, you can't do everything. And that's the value of what you offer, right? Is you're the expert. And if someone hires you, they need to let you be the expert and do your thing. One of my favorite sayings is you can do anything, but not everything. And I think this is a good example of one of those situations where it's time to delegate.
Yeah, absolutely. I found that as a huge game changer for my own business too, was getting to a point where I hired a business coaches or certain experts in different areas. Because at some point, like you said, you can't know everything. What you don't know, what you don't know. So you need people to help rise you and get you to the next level. And that's literally transformed my business at every level. And I think even in life, that's important to get to the point where you go, you know what? I need help. I don't know everything in this area, and to be humble enough and to be able to be wise enough to seek help, like even say in mental health, going to a therapist, talking to a third party. So I think it's the same in business, just understanding where your weaknesses are, what you don't know, and then finding the strengths that complement it.
Yeah. And I always look at it as, when you get help for your weaknesses, what you're really doing is enabling yourself to lean into your strengths. But we could dive into this all day. I love these topics. I do think before we wrap up, though, I want to make sure people know how to get into contact with you, get support from you, whether that's in marketing, you name it. What's the best way to connect?
Yeah, well, definitely can find me on LinkedIn. You can just search my name, Sofia Wakabayashi. That's Sophia with an F. And on Instagram and Facebook as well. My handle's at Sophia Waka. My email address is Sophia at Waka Growth. So anyone can email me anytime. And our website you can find on all my social channels, but it's Waka Growth, WAKA growth.com.
Awesome. Well, Sophia, this has been fantastic. I feel like I've learned a lot. And we definitely need to talk sometime about some of the social media stuff and dive into that a little bit more. But thank you so much. Really appreciate your time and insights. It's been great.
Thank you. So great being here. Always great chatting with you. It's always such a good conversation. I know we could continue forever, but I'd love to continue the talk on social media. So thanks for
Absolutely.
having me.
Yeah. And anyone else who made it all the way to the end, hopefully you found some stuff that was worth hearing. And if you know anyone who needs support in that social media space, please send this episode their way along with Sophia's contact information. If you can, leave a rating or a review. We'd love to hear what you think of the episode. And then lastly, remember, take some of the things you've learned here, apply them, and let us know how it goes. We'd love to hear about your progress. That said, thanks again. We'll see you next time on Breakthrough Innovation.